Always the amazing hairdo. All right, all right, all right. Well, as people keep rolling in here, we're going to get started to honor the time. How's everybody doing? Happy Tuesday. I know there's a lot of things happening right now. Tell me something good. Something that's exciting. Something happened amazing your last week of your life. I know we got stories here. Come on. Don't be shy, people. Unplug.
I just took a trip to celebrate my grandfather's 100th birthday.
What? Congratulations. 100th birthday.
Yep.
I was just talking the other day, I was like, you know what? I made it to over 50. I don't know if I'm going to make it another 50, but you just proved me wrong. I'm going to make it to 100.
You would never guess he's 100 either. He looks like he's 80.
Is he Asian? Because us Asians, we hold our age.
No, he's not.
Oh, I was like, I tell everybody I'm 65, but nobody believes that. It's all good. We just hide that look well.
He had more energy than I did. It was crazy.
That's awesome. Well, happy birthday to your grandfather, 100 years old, and thanks for sharing that. Mitzi, go for it, girl.
Good morning, everybody. My sister had her 4th baby last night, so we're super, super excited to grow the family. She has a couple more to catch up to me, but it's all good down here. We're super stoked.
Awesome. Congratulations to the newborn. I love it. And is there a thing that she wants to catch up to you, or is that like a thing, or no?
No, everybody always teases because I have the most kids, and she always said she's not having more than 2, and she's already at 4.
Oh, nice. All right, all right. Just making sure. Awesome. Well, congratulations. Great news. Awesome. Look at that. The crowds are showing up here. I think it's because we got Gogo today. That's why everybody wanted to hear Gogo today.
Good morning,
all right.
Gogo.
Somebody else. I know. Good morning. Good. Somebody else. Carol, go for it.
Hi, Mitzi.
Morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm super grateful. I have a brand new knee replacement thanks to eXp Realty Healthcare. They paid for everything, and I've got a brand new knee, and it's going really good. I'm 5 days out of surgery and moving around really good. And thanks to eXp Healthcare, I'm, my $1,000 deductible, and that's it. And they're covering $50,000. And since it's direct pay, self-pay, quote unquote, because, they pay the hospital direct. It's like half the price of anything else. So super thankful for eXp Healthcare. Right there.
I love it. There we go. Welcome to the new knee. I love that too. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I know.
Thanks, everybody.
And you know what? I'll second and tap on the back of that. Health insurance does work here at eXp. If y'all didn't realize that, I was at COVID situation back in 2021. I was in the hospital for over almost a month, and I only paid my $1,000 deductible too. It was $80,000 bill, and they covered that. So talk about saving your life. 100% saved my life. Not to mention my revenue share covered me while I couldn't physically do anything for work for over 2 months. So yes, thank you, Carol. I must see you out there running, girl. Now. All right. Congratulations.
Back to the tennis court, man.
All right. Or is it pickleball now? I heard everybody says pickleball thing. It's a pickleball craze. So is it tennis courts or pickleball? But either way.
Well, yep. It's all good. It's all good. Get out there and just do it.
I love it. I love it. I know. I'm actually really forcing myself back to run. I'm going to run a half marathon again. And I started my 75 hard. So I'm having to run every day outside 45 minutes. So this is a bringer, man. Doing things you don't want to do. I woke up this morning, it was raining outside. Did not want to get out of bed and go freaking run. That's for damn sure. And I was like, God, I got to do it though. I got to do it. No excuses. So anyways, awesome. Anybody else? Share some good news. Dylan, you had an amazing trip, bro. How can I share that trip? You just came out with your family, brother.
Yeah, I just had an amazing trip, but I wanted to just thank everybody, send some gratitude out. I got the official notification that I get to be a shareholder summit speaker from the main stage, not even a breakout. So super, super stoked about that. So thank you guys for your support. And that's kind of like a, intent come true, man. So it's been a intent to be able to do that. And so super stoked.
That is awesome, man. Congratulations. Dude, brother, you well deserved. You are
Who's coming? Who's gonna be there? That's the question.
Oh, I know. Who's going to is it build or shareholders?
Shareholders.
Hey, we should all be going to shareholders. When is that? That's May, huh? Gogo's going. Who's my
We'll figure it out. We'll put the word out, and we'll do a gathering, a physical gathering there, whoever shows up.
Yes, we will make it happen to support you, my friend. Thanks a lot. Super excited for you. Always doing great things. So you deserve that spotlight. Anybody else want to share something before we move on?
Global efforts to try to figure out exactly where COVID-19 is.
Peter, thank you.
There we go. All right. Nobody else? We're going to move on then to Carl Lewis. Carl, jump out there, my friend, and give us some good insight on what's happening with the rates right now.
Yeah, well, so right now we've got mortgage rates have been kind of all over the place, with the whole banking fiasco. And, you guys have probably heard about, Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. And I know we talked a little bit about that last week. And I just wanted to point out something that I actually kind of thought about for myself. And I'm glad Gogo's on here about social media, because I feel like being a louder voice in social media, and I, need to do that myself, than like the media, right? Because the media is going to have a lot of negativity. That's not necessarily true, So we have a lot of people who I have a friend who does a lot of commercial banking, and so a lot of people are moving their money out of the smaller banks, which are like really key to our economy, and moving it to the bigger banks. But there's a lot of ways to protect your money at the smaller banks. You can broker CDs, like I just moved a lot of our funds over into like layered CDs that are brokered, and so that way you have the $250,000 FDIC insurance, but you could still stay with a smaller institution. So that's something. But right now, what you're hearing in the media is you got $17 trillion that's deposited in banks, and 10 trillion of that is uninsured, and that's a lot of it is just people just not investing the right way with their cash. So that's something to just kind of put out there. There's a way to keep your money where it's at and not panic, and actually get a really good yield. You could get 3% on a 3-year CD, or sorry, 3-month CD. So a short-term CD, you can actually get a pretty good return on that. So that's kind of the banking sector. This is showing some cracks from all these Fed rate hike increases in the banking system. And so I think the Fed is realizing that, and they're going to start slowing these increases. Today is the beginning of a 2-day meeting. So tomorrow we'll get some news and we'll see what the Fed decides to do. But I think they're probably going to increase a 1/4 point. But I think the market might actually like that, because it's still showing that there's a slowing of that Fed rate hike increase. And so the long-term mortgage rates, they tend to like that. So the bondholders that buy those investments, that shows that inflation is maybe starting to kind of cool off. And then there was a report that came out for existing home sales as well for February of 2023. So last month, and the media will say that the median home price declined, and it was by 0.2%. So it's pretty much nothing, but it's actually kind of skewing the statistics, because if you look at FHFA and Case-Shiller, they're showing that year-over-year appreciations like 5.8% was Case-Shiller's, and then FHFA said 8.4%. And I'm sure you're seeing it in your market, right? Are you guys seeing multiple offers, or is it only one offer?
Nope.
Trying to get seller credits, not so easy these days, right? So even with rates being higher, there's a ton of buyer demand. And one of the things that I've learned, and I've really tried to lean into with my business, is like, who are the buyers, right? So I'll tell you. So nationwide, first-time home buyers make up 31% of the market. So who should we be marketing to, right? First-time home buyers. Cash buyers are 29%. So a lot of people are paying cash. And then actually investors. So the investor count went from 16% in January to 18% in February, which I think is very telling. When you've got investors that want to jump into the market, maybe it's a good time to buy, right? So those are 3 categories. They're not sell buy, right? The sell buy people have a 3% rate, so they don't want to give that up yet until rates maybe come down a little bit more. So I think there's a lot of positive news, a lot of good stuff kind of coming down the pike this year. I believe that rates are going to come down. So I firmly believe that, but I think it's going to be a bumpy ride, because we do have a pretty stubborn Fed. And so we'll see what they do. But I think over time, we'll see inflation come down, and then we'll see interest rates come down. So that's all I got, you guys. Yeah. Oh, and again, just got the ability to lend in all 50 states. So you guys need a great lender, I'm your guy.
That's right. That's right. Congratulations on that, by the way. And definitely Carl Barbie reaching out to you guys just to stay in touch with you. But now he has the ability to pretty much do every state now. So it's pretty awesome. Couple things real quick. I did hear something the other day about a new lending program coming out where they were going to get a 20% down payment, but get that funded or something, or granted in or gifted somehow. Is that, or am I hearing stuff?
Yeah, so that's in California. So it's a California thing.
Okay.
It's through CalHFA. So for those of you who are selling homes in California, if for nothing else, it's something to be talking about. We were getting a ton of leads from that program. And, you know, a lot of people maybe aren't going to qualify for it, but then there are going to be a good amount of people that do. I think it's like 2 billion or it's 200 million. There's a lot of money in this fund. It's through CalHFA. So California Housing Finance Agency. It is a 20% grant. And so they basically give you 20% of the down payment, which is pretty sweet. You can't make more than about $10,000 per month to qualify. And the debt ratio guidelines haven't come out yet. You might see some stuff, maybe something leaked, but CalHFA has not released a lot of the guidelines. They're not going to release it until March 27th. So here in, 6 days. And then really, that's when I'm going to really start kind of putting it out there, because I want to know exactly how it works. But there's a lot of opportunity with that. And and if for nothing else, hey, that 31% of first-time home buyers, they're all going to want to know if they qualify for that.
Yeah.
If you're in California. So that's a great thing to bring up, Chris.
Yeah, totally. 20% down. Holy moly. That's a lot of money. Like, granted, 20%.
Yeah. The catch is that you have to share the equity when you go to sell.
Yeah.
But it's only 20%.
Yeah.
You get to keep 80% of the equity, and then you have to give 20%. So it's like, that's pretty sweet. Now the rate might be 7.75. I don't know. It's going to be higher than like the market.
Yeah.
But who cares? You got a free 80% appreciation. You know what I really love about it? And I think that this is a good point, regardless of the state you're in, the way the presentation's kind of put together for that, it just shows why you should own a home. It's like, hey, here's what happens in normal appreciation if you own this home, and then here's how much you're going to get if you sell. And it's like, buying a house is the best investment you can make, in my opinion. You're going to do better buying a house than investing in the stock market. It's leveraged money. Long term, we see it in the Bay Area, San Francisco and stuff, where people are millionaires because they owned a home. And so, that's something we need to be communicating, like Gogo is probably going to say, social media, like telling people like, hey, this is a generational, life-changing investment. And so that's what this program really helps highlight. And that's what I love about it.
Awesome. Jennifer, you had a question? Go for it.
Yeah, sorry. I'm new, Carl. Who are you a lender with?
So I'm a mortgage broker with LRG Lending, and I'm also partnered with a bank, Plains Commerce Bank, which is, throughout the United States.
Okay,
So
got it.
I own our mortgage company.
And what is
but then I also partner with another bank.
it's called LRG, you said?
Yeah, and we're a lender and we're a broker.
Okay.
So we lend and then we also broker.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Thanks, Carl, again, for always the updates. Definitely got some sunshine maybe on the end of the tunnel, maybe, right? So I say keep pushing. Obviously, business is still popping. Deals are still happening. Yes, we're getting multiple offers over here in our area, neck of the woods, and over asking price. So it really hasn't changed much. The uptick is coming back. So I would not be dismayed or feel like, oh my God, it's not going to happen. Yes, just go out and crush this, you guys. It's about consistency. That is the key to this business. Consistency, building relationships on top of relationships. So awesome. Thanks, Carl. Awesome.
Thanks,
okay.
Chris.
So we're going to move forward here today, and we have a special guest again, as always, every week. And this week is none other than Gogo Bethke. Is it Bethke, Go, as I say that? Is it Bethke?
Yes, you got it.
All right, Gogo Bethke. So she's an amazing rock star. She joined EXP, and she has just flourished tremendously. She is a social media guru, queen, rock star, overachiever, and she is going to share with us some stuff today about some agent attraction pieces that she's been able to impose and create through social media. So without further ado, Gogo, the stage is yours, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to do this, by the way.
Thank you so much for having me. I actually have either. I have production or agent attraction. I have 10 tips. I figured you have 30, 45 minutes, right? We can fly through either one of them. I'm open for you guys to choose what you rather hear production, rather hear agent attraction, maybe a little bit of both. What would you guys like to do?
What do you guys? I mean, I'm heavily focused on agent attraction myself, as I had told your assistant. We have a good fraction of people here are really real estate transactional based, but we do have a handful here of agent attraction that love to do the recruiting too. So
okay, you guys want to put it in the chat box? Maybe let's say in the next 30 seconds, which one we get most of, agent or production?
Yeah, you guys jump in there. Tell her what you'd like. Both. They're all both. Attraction.
Attraction. Let's see. I guess attraction is, oh, there we go, both.
And agent attraction.
Production.
Attraction.
Okay, looks like attraction wins. And then I'm also open to, I'll try to fly through it, and I'm also open for questions. So if you guys want to ask me anything, I'm an open book, right? So let's start. So 10 tabs. Is there a way for me to share my screen?
Yes.
Or
If you go down the bottom, there's that little arrow with a square box.
Don't do
Present now, and then share whatever you want, either a tab, a full screen, and it'll show up on ours.
Okay. I'm actually doing a split screen. Can you guys see that? Because I like to see everybody and
Yep, there we go.
the presentation. Okay, so let's do agent attraction. I did switch to EXP with the idea of building a downline. I was already a top producing agent. I know how to do production, right? And I figured there is a time and place. Let's put it this way. I didn't want to be 67 years old and sitting in open house. Okay? And when my trainer, what's her name, coach, asked me what is my exit strategy, I looked at her like she's out of her ever-loving mind, because I was like 29 years old. I'm like, what do you mean? I have like a good 40 years left in me, right? But truly, we all need to have an exit strategy. I actually remember, Chris, when you were sick, I messaged you because it was going through EXP like haywire, right? Like how sick you got from COVID. I still actually can't smell anything. And a funny story, I have COVID now since last year, August. And a funny story, yesterday I'm sitting here working away, right, midday, and I get up to get my work phone and I stepped into something. Literally something mushy came through my toes. And I look down and it's a big pile of dog shit.
Oh.
And I'm like, number one, what the heck? What is that doing here, right? Well, we were traveling and my dog likes to leave me a gift every time I leave her home for a long period of time, right? But number two, how long? Imagine an office. It's a 10 by 10 office. Imagine an office with a pile of dog food. How long and how bad could that possibly smell? And it was literally right down here under my nose, and I had no idea.
Oh, wow.
I still can't smell anything. So this is so weird. I hope there is something out there that I can get my smell back, because I had to find it. So I'm sorry that you got sick. I didn't get as sick, but I still have the long-term effects of COVID. So when I got into EXP, I got in with the idea that I want to icon and make my stocks back, right? My cap back, because none other brokerage was offering me that. And B, I wanted to build a team. I wanted to remove myself from production, so build a local team, which I did. I'm very proud to say that I haven't done a single transaction in a year and a half, and I'm very proud of it. My goal was 0 transaction in 2022 personally, and I achieved my goal.
Yeah.
Just so you all know. Now, on the other hand, my cute little team that I formed, which we call GRET, Gogo's real estate team in Michigan, we done 62 transactions last year. I don't have an office. I like to joke and say I don't even own a printer. I don't even live in the state where my team is formed, right? And we did $3,000 short of 500,000 GCI. So you can do it all. And on top of building a team, I also built a downline. So Team Gogo is the downline that I built here at EXP. I personally brought over 240 agents between my frontline and my husband's frontline. And overall, the Team Gogo organization is over 1,000 agents. It's 1,062 agents today. Okay. So I'm going to share some of the basics, and also not I don't like to call it basics. It's not the basics. Some of the fundamentals that you need to have in order to do agent attraction and do it properly, especially if you want to do it with the power of social media. Now, also out of the 240 agents, I have not called a single one. I have not emailed a single one. I have not DM'd a single one. Every single one of them jumped into my calendar. Okay. So I call it agent attraction and not recruiting, because truly is attraction. I give them enough information up front where at some point over time, they're going to click the button and jump into my calendar to talk to me about the opportunity at EXP. So let's go to the fundamentals. How's that sound? Awesome. Okay. So on the left-hand side, number one, don't be a secret agent. Okay, so if I go to your social media profile, and by the way, Dylan, congratulations for being on the big stage as shareholders. I will see you there. So don't be a secret agent. What I mean by that, if I went to your social media profile right now, do I see that you're an agent? Do I see that what area do you cover? Do I see what brokerage you are with? Or do I see things like you're a foodie and you love yoga and you love travel and you happen to sell real estate? Guess what? I'm a foodie and I love yoga and I travel and I happen to sell real estate. But if you don't take your business seriously, nobody will. So on my social media, Gogo's Real Estate, as you can find me on Instagram or everywhere else, you're going to say real estate or mindset, anything entrepreneurial, anything that's going to help the next person or the next agent to achieve some sort of level of success, right? My duty is to help others, and by giving, you get. The more you give, the more you get. It's really simple. So number one, if your social media profiles, like your Facebooks, your Instagram, your TikToks, your YouTubes, are not updated of what you do for a living, then you need to do that today. And most importantly, if you don't have one of those, which I call the secret agent, which you do not exist, you're not even an option on the radar. People in average spend 4 hours on social media on an average day, but during COVID, they spent 8 hours. 8 hours, it's a full-time job on a different social media. They got to the end of YouTube and TikTok, trust me, because there was nothing else to do, right? So your job is to at least be an option. When they're looking for a realtor to buy or sell homes with, or if they're looking for a realtor to learn something from, or if they're looking for a realtor to join a brokerage with, right? You at least need to be an option. And for that, your profiles need to be updated. Number two, don't sell your brokerage, sell your successes. So if you go to my profile, I am a very proud EXP agent. You are going to say brokered by EXP in my profile, but you're not going to see EXP on any of my posts. The reason why is because there is this misconception about our brokerage on the market. Some people think they know who we are and what we do and how we do it, right? They are very wrong. But as soon as you put an EXP logo on anything, they already formed an opinion and they're not going to read it. They're not going to click it. They're not going to watch it. Right? So I don't put anything EXP on any of my posts. I don't wear an EXP shirt. I don't, and Dylan, don't take it personally. I do wear it every time I travel. Every time I travel, I wear something Team Gogo. It's a conversation starter. I meet the funnest people at airport bars. They always ask me what my t-shirt says, and says Team Gogo, and it's a very great conversation starter, right? But I don't do it on posts because people are they already have an opinion about the company, and I'd rather them be halfway through my post to realize, oh shit, excuse my French, it's an EXP pitch. Right? But by that time, curiosity kills the cat. If they're halfway through it, they're going to finish the post, okay? And also, number one, have you created a video why you joined EXP? Assuming, Chris, everybody on here besides, I think, Patty, was it? Is EXP already?
Yeah, pretty much. I think Jennifer, well, I don't want to call them out. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so sorry if you're not here yet. Sounds like you're joining us, so it's all good. Number one, you have to have a video why you joined EXP. A nice and long video, because people, not a 2-second one, I joined because of the icon program, right? Because nobody's going to change the live pack up shop and move the brokerage over because of your 2-second video, right? Number one, people don't join brokerage, they join people. If your video is short and they don't actually get to truly know you through the video, they're going to join through somebody else who allowed them to get to know them. Okay, so with your why I joined the EXP video, I also don't want you to go back to your childhood, because nobody has time for that, right? But just give them enough information that gives kind of like an outline of your history in real estate and what you achieved. Maybe get that done in like 3 minutes or less, and then go into why you switched EXP and maybe the 3 large reasons, like my reasons. Number one, actually I had a couple, right? Number was the ability to earn my cap back. Number 2 was the ability to grow a team. Number 3, a team internationally, not just locally, right? Number 3 was said retirement and stocks. And then healthcare and the ability to leave your rev share in a will or trust was very important to me, because my oldest is type 1 diabetic, right? So those were the important parts for me. The more personal you make it. So when I shared the idea of rev share was so important to us because I have a type 1 diabetic son, they might not be interested about EXP at all. They might be just slightly interested about EXP. But the fact that I have a type 1 diabetic and they have a type 1 diabetic, I just won them over. You never know what you are going to have in common with someone. And the only way they can find something in common with you if you truly allow them to get to know you. What are those pillars, those important things? Now, you also might think, yeah, Gogo, but I'm very, very, I don't know, private. Well, I am too. You only know about me what I allow you to know. We all have a level of security where we feel secure and where you don't, right? So you know about me what I allow you to know about me, because that's what I put out there for the public. right? Everything else is my skeleton in the closet, and it will stay there. We all have skeletons, believe it or not. You think you might know everything about me, right? You don't. Okay. The next one, so create your video. Your video needs to be shot horizontally. It needs to be honed on any of the sites like YouTube, right? It has to have a link. And then you are going to build that into a website. You're going to have an agent attraction website at some point. Okay, you can check out mine. If you go to gogobethke.com, so my name.com, you go to the EXP Partner With Me button, and you will see the link of how I do agent attraction. Okay? Facts, style, stories, sell. Instead of saying that, thank you for sharing. Instead of saying that, EXP will give your cab back, right? Maybe share a story of one of your icon agents who never even capped at a previous brokerage. And now not only they capped, but the icon, and they got $16,000 worth of stock last year. And today those $16,000 are worth $32,000. Whatever, right? You decide what stories you want to share, but it has to be stories, because stories will register in people's mind. Facts will not. They don't care about the facts. They care about true stories. FOMO, fear of missing out. So when you do social media, right, you are going to be showing them your life, which is the truth. Now, if you decide to do social media, truth and only the truth, and nothing but the truth, because the truth will come to surface, right? So when you decide to do that, always create your real life, right? You can't fake it until you make it, because the truth will come to surface. So show your real life. And through that, you will create what's called FOMO. And then the people that are one step behind you will then look up to you, right? Those are the people that are going to want what you already have. And then you can show them how you get that done. Okay. The next one, say no to good things so you can have time for great things. So one of my favorite sayings that the enemy is good is not bad. The enemy of good is great. You might have it good, but you could have it great. So every time you're talking to an agent and their response to you is, oh, but I have it so good. The response back needs to be, you could have it great. Mm-hmm. You're settling for good. Number one. Number two, when you are spending time on all kind of, God bless you, Libby. When you're spending your time on all kinds of good ideas, right? You're removing time for great ideas. So I want you to look at, is this going to make you the amount of money that it needs to make you? Is this going to take too much time, right? Should you go to that appointment? Maybe you already know there's no freaking way that you're going to work with that person anyway. Then why do you even give them an idea of a Zoom call, right? An hour of your time, it's an hour of your life. Give me 1 second to let my dog out, because nobody's listening to her.
Silence.
Okay. Well, I know my hourly rate, and I look at my hour, I know what it's worth, and I look at it at every meeting, on everything that gets put into my calendar. Is that going to make me that money in the hour? My hourly rate is $2,400 an hour. If that, whatever I'm doing is not making me $2,400 in that hour, I am not doing it. Somebody else will, or we're not doing it at all. Okay. So you have to remove good things from your calendar so you have great things, time for great things. And dare to be rare. When you're doing social media, I am not being anybody else but me. And I know I'm weird, and I'm one oddball out there, right? And that I'm totally fine. I am not looking for anybody that doesn't like me, right? As Brent Go says it, I'm looking for the people who are looking for me. So somebody that joins with Chris, all of you that joined with Chris would have never joined with me, because you are Chris people, not Gogo people, right? And that is totally fine. As long as you know who you are, you know who you're looking for. So be solid in your being, own that, put it all over out there, and your people will find you. The next one, everyone is gettable. I was one of those agents that said I would never switch to EXP. And guess what? I did at some point. Everybody else, I did have people, about 42 of them, try to talk to me about EXP, hijacking lunches, hijacking meetings, random, shoving EXP down in my throat. I was not interested whatsoever until my sponsor, Curtis Shewell, spun it in a way and pretty much spoke it in a way that I had my receiving ears, right? So literally everybody is gettable. Sometimes it's a matter of time. Sometimes you just have to wait until their broker pisses them off, and that is your it, right? And just know that everybody's gettable, right? Because sometimes we are our own worst enemy, and we have that little monkey on our shoulder talking to us that person would never join, right? And next thing you know, they're signing up, and you're like, why didn't I even talk to them? I never even talked to them, right? The next one is your well chart. If you don't track, I have a trackers for my track. I mean, I like to joke and say my trackers have trackers. I'm the biggest nerd you'll ever meet, right? So you have to track this. Number one, even if you just have one agent, The reason why is because some of the things at EXP you cannot track going back. So right now, if you ask me how many agents I had in February of 2019, I could not tell you because I didn't track it. Not until March of 2020, I started tracking my agents and everything regarding rev share, right? So some of the things you're not going to be able to go back and track it. So if you can track it, you can see how you grew, right? And not only that, but even if you just have one agent, it is going from one agent to two agents. Guys, it's 100% growth. Right? You have to be able to celebrate those. You have to be able to see, if you can celebrate your small wins, you're not deserving of the big ones. Again, what gets celebrated gets duplicated. So you have to give yourself those small celebrations, those small, I just did that, I got another agent, right? And you have to go check that off in your tracker. And number one. Number two, you have to know where the heck you're going. If you don't have your goals, if you're like, well, I just want to make more money, $1 is money, you're going to make $1 when you're 94. Okay. Yeah. Instead, you have to say, this is what I am going to achieve by December 31st of 2023. So if you don't have your agent attraction goals written down in stone, what you are going to do, then you're kidding yourself. Because you can't possibly imagine a GPS. Imagine if you get in a car and you're going somewhere, but you don't know where. Can your GPS take you there? You have no idea where you're going. You're going, you're sitting in the car, you're ready, your GPS is ready. Can it take you there if you don't have an end destination? No, it cannot. So if you don't know where the heck you're going, you can't possibly get there. You might be busy and doing this and that, but you're busy on a treadmill running, but going nowhere. So you need to write down what you want to achieve when it comes to agent attraction, and you can do that multiple ways. You can do that based on income. You might say that by December 31st, I must make $1,200 a month in rev share, right? Or you can do that by agent headcount. The bad problem with agent headcount, you can go get a bunch of dead weight. You could have 1,200 agents and none of them sold the house, because that's the low-hanging fruit, right? So instead, I like to do everything I like to tie it to money, because that means they are actually results, right? And then do what's called reverse engineering and figure out, what is it going to take? How many agents do I have to make that money? Now, if you take in consideration an average in my downline, an average agent is worth about $62 a month. Okay. Now, if you said I want to make $1,200 by December, right? Let's say December of this year. You take the 1,200, you divide it by $62. That means you have to have, nope, something's wrong. 1,200 divided by $62. Yeah, 19 agents. Now, does that 19 have to be all by you? Nope. You have to learn to play the game. It's a game, and games have rules. When you learn the rules, you get to play the game. How many agents do you need in your first generation to open up your second? Chris, you better not. Dylan,
yep.
Don't cheat.
Same.
How much? 5. Each 5 opens up the next generation. So when you have 10 agents in your front line, you opened up your third generation. When you have 15, your fourth generation. 20 opens up your fifth. 25 opens up your 6th, and 40 opens up your 7th. Yep. So there's a big jump from 25 to 40. Okay. So now you could bring, let's say, 5 agents. Can you bring between now and December? We have how many months between now and December?
9, is it? 8, 9. 9 months, I think, right?
Okay. So we have 9 months.
Yeah.
Can you bring an agent a month? If you work really hard, could you bring an agent a month? Okay. So you have 9 agents by December personally. Okay. Now, not everybody's a rock star like you are, but can you assume that your agents have 1 friend in real estate or 2? Right? Let's assume that they have a friend and a cousin somewhere in this country or 24 other countries, right? Like, pick one. Germany. Do you have a cousin in, I don't know, France, England, South Africa, Japan, Dubai? They probably do. Call that cousin, right? So now you brought 9. Let's say they each have a friend and a cousin, right? So they're going to bring 2. 1 times 18. So you have 18 plus the 9. You actually overachieved your goal. right? So now these are my numbers. An agent in my organization is worth $62 per month. I don't know what company average is, right? Chris, do you have any idea?
No, I think it started off originally. It was like they were saying by year originally when Jay Kinder and them were talking, right? I think it was like 700.
Okay, so if we take the 700 and divide it by 12 months, it's $58 per agent in average.
So yeah,
right?
you're
So
right
you
there.
could take, you could take a company average, divide the total amount that you want to make, see how many agents that is, and then you can play with the numbers of how many agents you need to bring, how many agents they need to bring to make that in rev share. Okay. The next one is celebrate your agents. I think one of the things with EXP, the downfalls of EXP is that which is the upside of EXP too, that we are nationwide and international, right? We can be anywhere and we don't have to have offices. As long as you have one of these or two of these, in my case too, right? But as long as you have one of these, you can work, right? So I'm actually licensed in Michigan, but I live in Florida. I don't even live in the state when I'm licensed and my team is in, right? So we have freedom. Now, with that being said, we also don't have the elbow rubbing. We don't have the let's have potluck and celebrate the July birthdays, right? Like you used to have in your old brokerage. We don't have that option. So because of that, in my opinion, it's very important to make sure that you love on your downline and organization. When they feel the love, they feel like they belong, they don't leave. When they're happy, not only they don't leave, but they bring their friends. And when they bring their friends, you don't have a recruit on you until your recruit has a recruit, right? If they're not going to Icon, if they're not going to build a downline, and if they didn't opt into the stock option program, they are no different than any other brokerage. Then they're going to leave for the next shiny object. Okay. So in ways that we celebrate our agents, I like to say what gets celebrated gets duplicated. The ways we celebrate our agents in the Team Gogo organization, as soon as they join, they get a notebook and they get a pen. So they get their Team Gogo. This is branded. I don't know if you can see it. It says EXP Team Gogo. They get their Team Gogo pen. They get a special, this is not my Team Gogo pen, so this is a bad example, but same exact pen with the Team Gogo logo on it. When they join, they get a notebook with a special note saying that if you don't write it down, it doesn't exist, right? And that's how we started. Then we celebrate their production. Then we celebrate their agent attraction. So we have a top producer every month in Team Gogo. We have a top agent attractor every month. We also celebrate everybody's birthday. So if I personally sponsor them, I'm calling them and singing them happy birthday. Yes, I torture my agents because I'm not a good singer. Okay, but that is my way of knowing that I personally thought of you. I personally wish you happy birthday. So I call them. If they don't answer, I sing them happy birthday in a voice note. And then we send them a happy birthday mug. So they get always, for every birthday, they get a mug. Every year we change the color. So they keep getting different colors. This year we are doing a wine mug. Actually, I'm going to make a post later on today, and the mug is in my hand, so you guys get to see it. So the wine mug is what we are shipping out this year. Ladies get pink, guys get blue this year, and last year was white. We change it up every single year. Then the next one we celebrated the icon. Every icon gets an icon mug that says Team Gogo EXP icon. We also celebrate top producer, top agent attractor that says Team Gogo EXP top producer of the month and top agent attractor of the month, right? And that will make them feel like they are not only that they are celebrated, but they're acknowledged for their hard work, no matter where they're located. Some of my agents I never met, and maybe I never will. But at least that we have a personal relationship, even though I never physically met them or been in the same space with them. Tools for attraction, you have to have your own website, because now that you and me, let's say you and me talked on a, I don't know, Instagram, right? And you're like, hey, Gogo, tell me more about this EXP thing. I keep seeing it everywhere and I'll talk to you about it, right? Like, what are you going to say? Let's jump on a call? No, most people are visual. Not only that, but I'm not that available, nor do I want to be that, what's the word I'm looking for? Desperate. I'm not that desperate to talk to you, right? So I want them to do their research. When you go to my page, which is the gogobethke.com/partner, you'll see I'll make them watch 9 videos before they can talk to me. Why? It's because you have to be serious again to waste my time. If you are not willing to do the research to see if this is for you or not, I'm not willing to spend an hour of my life with you. An hour of my time is an hour of my life. I have 2 amazing, beautiful boys, and I have an amazing husband that I should be spending that hour with, not with some stranger from the internet who has nothing else to do today but just want to talk to me about EXP, have no maybe not even licensed. Don't have time for that, right? So I put them through 9 videos to watch. Why? Multiple reasons. People are different. The video that explained me the model and talked to me will probably never work for an engineer. An engineer-minded person is going to want to see a slideshow. They don't want to see humans. They want to see a bottom line in a net sheet. They want to make sure that the numbers make sense. Now, me, on the other hand, I am very numbers oriented, but I'm also very happy-go-lucky, and I will switch over a stand-up comedian on stage just cracking a very good joke about EXP. I'm like, that's freaking amazing, right? And I will switch over that. So for me, Brent Gove's video talks to me, right? Because it's a real human. He's a teddy bear. I want to hug him. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to switch to EXP so I can hug you, right? So because there's multiple people, type of personalities, you have to have multiple videos because you don't know which one's going to talk to them. On top of it, you have to have your video because, again, people don't join brokerages, they join people. So I need you to know me and know that you and me are a good fit because I am not growing an organization to create drama in my life. We have no drama in Team Gogo. I have my people. I created a tribe. I'm looking for my people. And the only way you can do that is by, again, having your own video and allow them to get to know you, okay? Now, after you have your own website, within the website, you're going to have a calendar link because after they watch all those videos, they're going to have to jump into your calendar, right? On that calendar, it says clearly, you must watch all 9 videos. It also said you must be licensed because I'm not wasting my time with people thinking about getting licensed, and I don't know if you're smart enough to pass the test, right? And number 3, it also says no shows will not be rescheduled because if you waste my time, if you no-show to the unless you were in coma, you have one of these, and you know how to cancel. If you're serious about an appointment and you're serious about having my time, then you cannot waste it. If you waste it, you showed me your true colors. You showed me that you have zero respect for me and we do not need to be in business. I will not reschedule. I have people that begged to have that appointment because they had a flat tire or their kid was late to school. Or I could care less. I have a life. I decided to spend the time here with you. I showed up. You didn't. I will not reschedule. Those are not my people, and I take it very seriously. CRM Grow. Now, on that website, when you have those videos, you need to be able to track those people. I need to know who's watching it and how long they watched it because that will show me their seriousness about switching brokerages. The 9-minute video from CRM Grow, it's 9 minutes, 32 seconds, right? If somebody watched it for 1 minute, 19 seconds, do you think they're serious?
Mm-hmm.
If they watched it for 9 minutes and 32 seconds at 11 o'clock in the morning and at 7:30 at night, they watched it again, do you think they're serious?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Or do you think they watched it within the afternoon? Probably their husband and wife or whoever is important to them and they want their opinion, right? Now, when I see them that they watched a full-length video and I see them that they watched it again, guess who's texting them? Hey, why did you watch it for a second time? You really like it, huh? Gogo. And they're like, what the... What is going on is usually what they're responding. I'm like, are you watching me? And I'm like, yeah, it's Big Brother. So CRM Grow, it's a monthly membership, but you can upload any video and it will allow you to track it. So it will show you who's watching it, how long they watched it, and how many times they watched it. And then we'll give them, in order for them to watch that video, they have to give you their name and phone number or email address. So not only then I make you watch 9 videos, which the 9th video is the CRM Grow video, now you have to enter your information in there. So now I know who you are, even if you've never jumped into my calendar. Even though I don't reach out to them, I don't know why I collect that information. But I do. One day when I have time to reach out to them, then I have a whole list of people, right? The next one, the ping sheet. So what we call the ping sheet is when somebody signs up with me. Again, when you go to gogobethke.com partner, actually, maybe I can click it. Let's see if that will open it and if I can share that screen very quick. Okay. Okay, let me go back here. I don't know if I can drag that over. Oh, anyway, I don't seem to be able to drag that over now. But what you need to do is when finally these people, they jumped in, so they watched your videos, they jumped into your calendar, you have the conversation, you handle their question, you handle their objection, they're ready to sign up. I have a 2-step process. Step 1 is what we call the ping sheet. And step 2 is the ICA. When you go on my page, so all of you just click the partner with me page, go about halfway down, and you're going to see step 1 and step 2. Click step 1 and you'll see what I'm talking about. Step 1 is our Team Gogo application. The reason why we have a Team Gogo application is multifold. A, because I want to celebrate my agents. In order to celebrate your birthday, I need to know your birthday. In order to send you a gift, I need to know your address. In order to have a Team Gogo map and send you leads, I need to know what area you cover. Right? Like I need to know these things about you. And number 2 is because you might be talking to someone now and they're finally ready in October. And they finally do their IC application. And through the process, the onboarding process, it's not that smooth sailing, not in every state, right? So sometimes your agents will lose their in the middle of the onboarding process. And you don't even know they're onboarding because they never even told you. They just did it, finally. right? So instead of that happening, I make them fill out step 1, which automatically notifies me and Christy with the power of Zapier. We get a text message, and so filled out step 1. And from that moment on, we start a 3-way chain text message, Christy, my right hand, myself, and the agent, and we hold their hand through the whole process. And then we walk them through step 2. They do their IC, and we get them to the whole onboarding process. So nobody's doing onboarding on their own. The next one is why I switched to EXP Video. We talked about that. Facebook group. So your downline or organization need to have a name. Agents need to belong somewhere. So mine is called Team Gogo. Whatever yours is called, you have to have a Facebook group for that. So that's the home for everybody, or that's at least what we use. The next one is Calendly. So you have to have a Calendly link for all of these appointments. Remember, I told you they jump into your calendar. You have to have a Calendly appointment to Let's Talk EXP. And that takes me to how to attract. The next one, step 5. The Let's Talk EXP call, that's through your Calendly button on your website that you're going to build in. Until you have a website, at least have a Calendly link. So when somebody says, hey, I want to talk to you about EXP, you send them that link. You might set that when you set up a Calendly appointment, it's going to ask you how often you want to do it, what days you want to do it on, how long you want that appointment to be, so mine are pretty much set on whenever I have opening, and it's set for an hour, but it's set that they cannot schedule for at least 2 days. I don't want surprises. When I wake up today, I know what's in my calendar. I'm not suddenly, I'm like, oh shit, I have a 5:30 today, and I promised my kid I'm going to take him somewhere, right? Like, that's not happening. So they cannot schedule in my calendar for at least 2 days from the time that they try to schedule if I have an opening. But right now, I don't have openings for weeks, okay? The next one is a 3-way call. Your 3-way call will come in the future when you have a downline, or if you already have a downline, you need to have a 3-way call. I actually did one today. The way 3-way call works is you and your agent and their guest, okay? Most of your agents will feel comfortable inviting a guest. They don't feel comfortable explaining the model, and that's okay. You should feel comfortable explaining the model. You should know this company inside out. So when it comes to a 3-way call, they come on the call. There is an etiquette. The agent who's inviting the guest has to be there first. If your agent is late, oh, that's a huge no-no, okay? Your agent has to be there before the guest shows up. When the guest shows up, the agent is going to introduce the guest, is going to talk about how amazing that guest is, everything that they have achieved. You fluff their feathers, right? And then they're going to talk about you just enough, a tiny bit, where your achievement is bigger than anything they ever achieved, but they don't talk about you as long as they talked about the guest, okay? From that moment on, the agent mutes themselves and you take over. You present, answer any of their question, handle their objection, and when they're ready, you tell them to go back to the agent to sign it. So that's a 3-way call. The Why Not EXP, every Wednesday night, again, some agents feel comfortable inviting, don't feel comfortable presenting. Every Wednesday night and every Thursday night, I do a presentation called Why Not EXP. Now, we also have generals in the Team Gogo organization. Generals are agents who have brought at least 5 agents to their downline. So now I don't have to do all the presentations anymore, but I did them for 3 years, guys. 3 years, every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, I do an EXP explained. So now I travel, I speak, so now I have generals filling in. I actually don't do any of the presentation this week because I'm traveling up to Michigan for the EXP rally. So Why Not EXP? It's pretty much a play on words. It's an EXP explained. It's the same presentation over and over and over again that we do live. The Team Gogo organization, they invite their friends, the agents that they want to talk to, and I do the presentation, or a Team Gogo general does the presentation. And then the agent we invited signs them up. Network. Number 6, break bread. One of the best rules I got from my real estate coach was never eat alone. Are you going to eat lunch this week? Breakfast? Maybe drinks and dinner, right? Whatever you can afford. Invite another agent, especially if you have closings. After the closings, you should take out your clients for a quick drink, and right after that, you should take out the agent, right? I love working with you on the other side of 123 Main Street. Let's get to know each other. It's not an EXP pitch ever. I truly want to have a good relationship with them, right? But right after that, guess what? Through that, somehow it's going to come up. How many transactions did you do last year? And they're like 42. I'm like, oh my gosh, did you earn your cap back? They're like, what? And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, oh, you don't earn? Hey, an accent and blonde hair and some tits comes in really handy. I am like, oh, you don't do that? You don't earn your cap back? That's stupid, right? And they're like, well, what do you mean you earn your cap back? And then there you go. There's your conversation. Oh, you're a top producer, and some brokerages, they don't even have a cap. Guys, I talked to someone today who's a top producer. Guess what?
No cap.
He goes from a 70-30 to an 80-20 for the rest of his life after the 7 transaction. Oh, yay. Oh, my gosh. That's amazing. You get to pay 20% for the rest of your life. Really? Yeah. Do the math, guys. That's millions of dollars if you're planning on doing this for yours.
Yeah.
So conversation starter, just sit down with them, find that one thing where EXP fits in, and trust me, they're going to bring it up, not you. The next one, go to events. I go to events to learn. I also go to events to meet other people. So you can go to your NAR events. You can go to the local board events. You can go to all kinds of events that there are other realtors and form relationship. Do not recruit at the events because they're not going to invite you next time. Form relationship, and again, invite them out for coffee. That's when you're going to recruit. Okay. The next one, bring a guest. If you're coming to EXP events, big decisions get made at big events. If you get to bring one guest to an EXP event, there's no way they're not going to join you. Like, we are like the funnest place to be in real estate. Like, if they don't join you, I don't know what brokerage they need to be with, right? Okay, the next one, join real estate Facebook groups, like a lab code agents or any of these big groups that have a ton of agents. Again, you cannot recruit there. They can throw you out if you try to recruit, but you can form personal relationships, right? Form referral partners in other states. And then through the years and through the referrals, and you form the relationships, you're going to have the ability to have the EXP talk at some point. The next one, give before you take. Again, I give so much on all of the platforms, like these kind of coaching calls and things. Like, even though you're already EXP, you're never going to come back, but I understand, or come over to me, I understand how life works. I understand that the more that I give, the more that I get. You get paid for the hour, what you bring to the hour, right? The more that you bring to the hour, the more life and God is going to pay you back. So this is my duty. Not only that, but I owe it to this company. This company has changed my life. I owe it to this company to give back as much as I can to try to change other people's life in return, because mine definitely got changed. The next one, number 7, you must know their numbers. Ask uncomfortable questions. I can't beat your numbers. Well, first of all, here's a trick. Number 1, somewhere early in the conversation, ask that person if they work for money. What do you think they're going to say? Yes. So then later on in the conversation, when they're like, yeah, but my broker's so nice to me, then I can say, oh yeah, I thought you worked for money. Because NICE doesn't pay the bills. NICE doesn't send my kids to college, and NICE didn't buy the down payment. I couldn't use NICE for down payment on this Florida house. The lender didn't take NICE. They take US dollars. Right? So opening the conversation by, do you work for money, can beat them at the end when they're like, but my broker's so nice to me at the end. The next one, ask uncomfortable questions so then you can beat them with their own numbers, right? I am a firm believer that for a producing agent, there's no better place to be than EXP. Now, if you're the type of agent, if they are the type of agents that sell 1 to 2 houses a year, I can't beat that. Not unless you're going to agent attract, right? I can't beat that. So that's why you need to ask the uncomfortable numbers so you can run those numbers. But again, you can only run the numbers if you know the model. And you can only run the numbers if you're willing to ask them uncomfortable questions. How many transactions did you do last year? What's your average price range? What's your cap and cut right now? Do you have any BS fees? That's my favorite, right? And also knowing the other brokerages model. Because when you talk to a Keller agent, they're going to tell you that their cap is $18,000. And I'm like, oh, what about the royalty fee? They're like, oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I do 6% up to $3,000, but I totally forgot about that. Okay, so if you're not missing $3,000 from your bank account, here's my Venmo.
Yeah.
Send it over every year. I mean, I'll be Gary Keller all day, every day. Please send it. Here's my Venmo. But because they spun it and they call it royalty fee, it's almost like it's their honor that they get to pay it to Gary Keller.
Yeah.
Well, then just pay it to me. That's fine. I'll take it. Right? But if you don't know the competitor's model, you don't know to ask them about the royalty fee. So now you're doing the math with an 18,000 cap. Well, it's a 21,000 cap because there's a 3,000 royalty fee on top of it, right? Now, of course, it's different in every state. That's in Michigan. I don't know what the Keller model is in your state or your neck of the woods. But the best way of figuring out your competitor's model is take them out for coffee. Take 5 Keller agent, 5 Coldwell Banker agent, 5 Remax agent, 5 Century 21, 5 Remax Rio, whatever you call it, right? Whatever you have, the boutique brokerage in your neck of the woods, and say, hey, I just want to understand your brokerage. I want to understand your cap and cut. That's all. And just ask them those questions. First of all, don't tell them that before you invite them out. Ask them that when they get there, but just want to get to know you, right? That way you know what you're getting into in a conversation when you are when that agent is interviewing you and wanting to know what EXP is like, the model. And then know what your brokerage brings to the table. Again, know the model, know EXP. The easiest way to handle objection is knowing the answer to that question, right? So if they ask you, how many transactions is going to take me to Icon, or what is Icon, you need to be able to run those numbers and answer it. Okay. Number 8, trackers. I track everything. I have a greatness tracker. All of these you can find in gogobethke.com. I have a revenue share tracker and I have a wellness tracker. Now, the revenue share tracker, I don't know if that's in gogobethke.com. Maybe it is. Check it. All of this you can also find, like the wealth chart. It's if you just go into workplace, put in wealth chart, you're going to find it. I took my wealth chart to Staples and I printed it into like laminated piece of cardboard, right? So you can wipe out. Sometimes the agent's going to leave and that spot clears up. You're gonna have to refill it with somebody else. Number 9, videos. Show them the good, bad, and the ugly. So if you follow me, you see I'll show everything. I mean, I didn't have a front tooth, guys, for 8 months and 2 years ago. 8 months I didn't have a front tooth. The social media queen of real estate, right? I show up to $1 million listing and I don't even have a front tooth. And I was like, sorry, it's not that I can afford it. I can't have one because I have no bone in my face, right? So I had to have bone graft and yada, yada. Long story short, that was the ugly part, right? And I rocked it. For 3 days, I had a pity party. I cried and I slept for 3 days. I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to have a front tooth for 8 months. Oh my gosh, I'm on social media. Like, I went down to all of that thing and I woke up and I was like, you have to rock what you got. The bad and the ugly. The next one, allow people to really get to know you, right? And then the next one is when you allow them to get to know you, they will love you. When they love you, they'll trust you. When they trust you, they'll buy anything you sell. So if I suddenly start selling yoga pants, then they would start buying yoga pants. I have earned their trust through the years because I have given them enough to trust me. I never lied, is the truth, and nothing but the truth, right? And number 10, begin with the end in mind. And it looks like I'm doing pretty good, 3 minutes. I don't think I've ever done this presentation in like 30 some minutes, guys. The next one, begin with the end in mind. If you can't imagine it, you can't have it. Because if your brain thinks that there is no way that I can bring an agent a month, then there is no way you're going to bring an agent a month. We all have these little monkeys that talk to us. So if you have whatever goal that you set, if your brain cannot see that end result, see it as it's yours right now, and you need to meditate. You're going to be like, what did she just say? Yes, I said that. You need to meditate. You need to sit down and you're going to sit there and you're going to tell your brain that we are not getting up from here until I can see and I can feel it. Like, guys, I know what my oceanfront property looks like. I know the sound of the wind. I can smell the grill. I hear my friends and their children and my children in the background. I can turn around. I can see a 360. I have a line of palm trees. There is the ocean. I have a water. It's a 2-level home. It has a balcony. I can hear the music. If you can't see it, you can't have it. So if you can't see, that's because you have your limiting beliefs. You need to nip those in the bud. Because let me ask you this question that really, truly allowed me to understand this in life. I was at a Tony Robbins event and there was this speaker on stage. And I'm going to do this. Is there any way, Chris, that you can put it where we can see everybody?
Yeah, you actually just hit stop sharing on your side because you're sharing that. Okay. So hit stop sharing and it'll go to everybody. There we go.
So I only see a couple people on the screen. I would like to see all 31 of them.
I don't know how to get, mine has everybody. I don't know how, if yours.
Okay, so then if you have everybody, let's see if I can make this larger. Maybe it's because I'm on health screen.
You got to go to the 3 little dots and hit change layout and then go
There
to.
we go.
Okay, change layout.
Change layout. There we go.
Oh, I see it. And tiled. And everybody? I don't know, spotlight, sidebar. I still only see a couple of you guys. I don't see all 40 something, but that's okay. If you see everybody, then you can report to me, Chris. Can we play this game?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a question. This question was asked at a Tony Robbins event, and I need you to raise your hand. Do you consider yourself the type of person that lives your life outside of the box? Most of the time. Like, you push it a little bit. There are rules, but hey, they are there to break it.
We got some hands up there. We got some hands.
So what would you say percentage-wise, Chris?
Let's see. Well, of the screens that are on, I'd say it's about 75% of the people I can see on the screen. There's there's people raising their hands that don't show their screens. Yeah, we're about 75%.
Okay. So let me tell you this. I'm sitting at this event, this guy, Tony Robbins event, this guy is on stage and says, raise your hand if most of the time you live outside of the box. I was so freaking proud. I was front and central. I had both hands up and I was like, I freaking push it all the time. I believe rules are there to break it. I don't break the law, but I break the rules all the time, right? He says, there is no box. There is no box. The box that we all live in is the bags that we put ourselves in. Is that shoe bags that you put the lid on yourself. In other ways, I heard this one is that we all live in cages with the doors wide open.
Yep.
So if you can see that end goal, if you feel like that that's not for you to have, that's because your own limitations. You have to train your brain to see that next level. If you can't see it, you can't have it. So then it's your job to make sure that your brain can see that next level. And the best way of doing that is by surrounding yourself with people who are there. Ask that person if you can shadow them. Ask that person if you can go spend a day. I'll be a freaking wallflower. You won't even know I'm here. I'll just sit there quiet and watch you negotiate, watch you go about your day, watch you. Let me just watch you. Let me just see you in action. But guys, there is no box.
Love it. There is no box.
So the last two things on that, number one was, I think, video. Let me see if I can find it very quick. What is your freedom number? Okay, so we talked about you have to imagine it. And the next one is, what is your freedom number, right? What is that number that you know that if and when you are going, not first of all, not if, it's when. Never use the word if ever again. Sorry that I just used that. If is a matter of maybe, 50-50 chance. When is a matter of time. It's just a matter of time when you're going to have that, right? So what is that freedom number that when you hit that number, you're good. You can retire. You can go fall off the face of the earth. You can go golfing for a year. You can, I don't know, pick your nose and change the channels on the TV and nobody cares. You're going to make the same amount of money for the rest of your life. Or more. Actually, no. You don't want to make the same amount of money. You want to make minimum that plus then some. So what is that number? And that freedom number is going to change every year. Why? Because if you can see, if I can do this, then what else can I do? The very first time I put it out to the universe, I was like, I want to make $150,000. First of all, I made 76, I think, the year before. So it was like pretty much double, right? Guess what I made that year? 150. 156.
You made it? Dang.
I made 156. I learned two things from that. A, holy shit, that works. B, why didn't I ask for more?
Yeah.
But every time you reach that goal, it's going to show your brain that you can do it. And it's going to open up your next level. But you have to keep setting those goals, right? You can't just say, well, I just want to make a little more. Like, what is a little more? Is it 25 cents more, or is it $3 million more than 156,000? I don't know. What's a little more? Nor does the universe knows. And you cannot have a plan B. Don't ever have a plan B, because you confuse the universe. If you say, well, I would be happy with 156, but if I make 90, I'll be happy. That's like getting into the car and say, I want to go to Tennessee, but if you take me to California from Florida, I guess that'd be good. Right? You can't do that. You confuse the universe. You cannot have a plan B. You have a plan A, and that's it. And that's it for today, guys. 4 minutes over the hour.
All right. I love it. That was awesome. Boy, that was some high energy right there, girl. I love it. And for those who can't understand fast talking, that's kind of how I am. So I get your lingo. I get you, Gogo. Well, real quick, we got 2 seconds. I mean, if anybody got real quick something they want to ask her before we jump off here, I want to honor everybody's time, the hour, and especially Gogo's. But if you got a couple seconds, Gogo, people, if they have a question for you.
Yeah, let me just double check, make sure.
I want to, make sure.
Link is on here. I don't.
Yes, you're good. At 3:30, actually, I have an appointment.
Okay. Lindsay.
Shoot away. If you guys got something real quick, again, unless you got to leave, feel free to jump in there and ask her a question real quick. Unless she was so thorough that she blew you guys' mind and you got no.
I scared them all.
You may. One thing I do want to say is that I love all the things you talked about. The pink sheet, all that stuff. Onboarding is amazing. Knowing the model, everything else. You guys, FYI, did every Thursday, like you did every Wednesday night, the wine EXP. It's every Thursday for you guys. Every Thursday, 8, 11, and 2 is the EXP Explained. So if you have guests, if you want to know the model, if you want to understand the model more, I learned it with Brent in the very beginning because I went and followed him every day and watched him speak on stage. You just get immersed with it. And all of a sudden it became second nature to me. And I understood the model, and nobody could tell me any differently because I knew the model inside and out. That's what she's talking about. Know your model, know your market, know your numbers, right? It's very relevant in the real estate sector as well as it is in the agent attraction sector. Know your model. Okay. And then actually you don't have to know it thoroughly. Just know what day to show up on Thursday. I know the model. I will be the big hammer. I will be the sledgehammer for you guys. Just line the nails up. So I'm telling you, use me. Be the first time I ever tell anybody in this world to do that. I mean, use me. I'm here to work for you guys. As much as she showed up for you guys today, this is an everyday occurrence, weekly for you guys. Just want to throw it out there. But anyways, did somebody have some questions? They had to say something. I saw some.
In the chat box, somebody's asking about the tracking program. It's called CRM Grow. That's a video tracking. And yes, you have to use everything for your advantage. God created you, and you are perfect because God doesn't make mistakes.
And your missing tooth. Nobody knew about your missing tooth, by the way. I don't think I knew about your missing tooth, but
Well, God, you guys haven't followed me for long enough. If you followed me in 2019, you would have seen me for 8 months with no front tooth. And of course, they decided to cut my grass right now. So if you hear them in the background, that's why.
awesome. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, Gogo. It's been amazing. It was a great meeting. You're insightful and appreciate you. Again, go to these events, EXP cons, EXP shareholders, build. You'll be able to meet Gogo in person, high five her, have lunch, grab coffee with her. She'll sit and chat with you guys all the time. So thank you for jumping on the call and giving your insight. It was amazing. Y'all have a great week. Don't forget EXP Experience on Thursday. And I love you guys all. God bless.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank
Aloha.
you.
Thank you.